Hello, everybody. My name is Adam, and I'm trying to become the most prolific reviewer of all time, which means I am reviewing thousands of movies and books and podcasts and other things. Uh, yeah. So I started watching maybe about a week or two ago a series called Drunk History. And I always wanted to watch it because I saw like clips of it and stuff, but I could never find it. So finally I found it and I watched maybe most of the first season. And I was reading some reviews after that, and I have to say that I 100% agree because I think that it's an interesting idea for a sketch, but the idea gets really repetitive really quickly. So what they do is the host, he starts drinking with somebody, and I don't know who these people are. Maybe they are comedians or maybe they're historians or whatever. So they start drinking with people, and uh, the host gets drunk, and the person who is going to tell the story gets really drunk, which leads me to think like this might all be an excuse to, uh, normalize the host's alcoholism, actually, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a possibility. So what happens is when the person who's going to tell this story is really drunk, they sit him down on a one-to-one camera kind of style, like, where sometimes they have like a talking head interview. It's kind of like in that sort of style. And the host sometimes says some leading questions, but he's also drunk. So, you know, so the person telling the story tells the story, but they're very, very drunk. So sometimes the things that they say don't make any sense. And what happens as the person is telling the story, there's a reenactment of some pretty famous comedians, actually. I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you watch, you'd be like, oh yeah, June Rayfeld, Raphael, I forgot what her name is. Her last name is. She's on there. I think Paul Scheer is on there. I think Jason Masuka uh, is on there. I also butchered his last name. They have a podcast called. I forgot. I used to listen to it all the time. I forgot what that one's called, but they do have a funny podcast about bad movies. Um, Yeah, so and they have like other famous comedians as well, and they will just literally say whatever the drunk man or woman says when they're narrating the story. So sometimes it can be like really funny. George Washington will say like, swearing and whatever. So it is kind of funny, but after two or three episodes, you're like, well, um, drunk people actually aren't that funny. I mean, they're funny once. The idea of a drunk person doing that is funny once. And maybe it would be better if they had, like, not drunk people telling you history stories, but I don't know, a drunk person trying to play the piano and they're very good piano, or a drunk person trying to cut somebody's hair, or, like different situations. And that would be more funny. Because, yeah, it's very, very repetitive and it gets old very, very quickly. Another thing that's really annoying about the show is it's called Drunk History, and 99% of all of the stories are from an American perspective. And it's it's kind of like, do Americans think that there's no history in other parts of the world? There's nothing about the Romans or the Greeks or the British or India or China. It's all like America. American history is the most important, whereas, American history is like not even history in comparison to some other countries. Like, American history to Chinese history is like, I don't know, is like if there was a baby born as I'm speaking these words, comparing that baby's experience of life with my experience of life. So it doesn't make any sense to make it only about American history. Not to say that American history isn't interesting. It is interesting. It's not that interesting that I want to hear 5 seasons of drunk people talking about it. To be fair, they do have a Drunk History Australia and a Drunk History UK version, but I was not interested in at all in watching those. All right, that's my review of Drunk History. What did you think? Put your comments in the comment section. Thank you. Bye-bye.